What's good? It's your boy Fanon. Happy Father's Day. Welcome to the back to the channels. Subscribers, for the people who are not subscribed, welcome to the channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Also, so that you can know when we drop the next videos and when we do the live streams. Definitely going to be doing a Father's Day live stream today. Also, thank you to everybody that supports the channel on Super Chat, Venmo, Patreon. Man, this Father's Day is going to be a good Father's Day for me because I don't have to do anything but talk boxing today. And today is a great day to talk about boxing, man, because I really feel like we are in the beginning of a new golden era in the welterweight division. Over the last month, we got treated to two excellent performances between Terrence Crawford, with Terrence Crawford entering into the 147-pound division, and Errol Spence Jr. looking fantastic. And about that, he should look fantastic. But hey, man, when you do what you're supposed to do, you get credit for having done what you were supposed to have done. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts around it. That dude stopped that man with a shot to the diaphragm and a shot to the kidney. Some people say liver, but I thought maybe the first shot was a liver shot and the second was a kidney shot. I don't know, but I know that dude, Carlos Ocampo, an undefeated boxer, is now on camera, stooped over, crying. So it is what it is, man. That dude did what he's supposed to do, and just the whole atmosphere around. I watched a lot of the press conference and, the videos going on, great work by people that, that went to the bout and, followed Errol Spence around, asked him questions, did all that stuff, trying to get, getting quotes from him and all that stuff that I can't do. I'm just going to be flat with you. People ask, Fanon, you should go to the fights, I can't do that. I just can't imagine myself. I can't do that. But my hat's off to the people that do that. And so when I was watching it, all the stuff going on behind the scenes from the camera, from several barbershop conversations, had a lot of stuff on there. Of course, Boxing Eagle had stuff. Fight Hub had it on there. So, guys, go out and check that stuff out. But the atmosphere in Dallas was absolutely electric from what I can see. And I was just watching the interview from Errol Spence Jr., and it was really like watching a young man grow up. He's a lot less shy. He seems like his personality is starting to come out more. And let me tell you, man, his personality is what I thought his personality was. That dude ain't playing. That dude's soft-spoken, but he can be, man, that dude's, I don't want to say that dude's mean, but he's not somebody he's not somebody that plays around, man. And I like that personality in a fighter. He's got a fighter's demeanor. Just like Terrence Crawford has a fighter's demeanor. And the fact that they have these two paths to come together, man, I think I'm just going to sit back, hopefully over the next year, 2 years, and enjoy these young men do what they're doing. But I got to tell you, man, I'm feeling I have an affinity for Errol Spence Jr. I love how this dude approaches the sport of boxing. And he was one interview that he was talking about, man. I know he gets tired of answering this question about Floyd Mayweather, because somebody asked the question to him and he turned around and he was just like, "It's a savage. It's a savage. It's a savage." They're like, "What does "it's a savage" mean?" He's just like, "It's a savage. It's a savage." Like, I'm not going to tell you what "it's a savage" means. I have to suppose that "it's a savage" means that, yeah, man, I'm a savage and I tore that dude up. So, but it's like, it's not the fact that he said it, because that's well established that he beat that dude up, right? It's well established that he beat up Adrian Brawner in a sparring match. It's well established that he beat up on Floyd Mayweather. People were saying, it was good work. This was good work. That was good work, man. But if you look and see how this dude is getting in his ring, you can see, and I'm going to say, some people ain't going to appreciate that I got to say this. I don't think that this is where you're getting into real welterweights. That's a real welterweight. And versus like a Manny Pacquiao, I think, like, there's been times when there was very, very, like, good welterweights. The last time that I would say that there was I mean, just top notch, where everybody was a top notch welterweight. And I don't mean like guys who are coming up from moving up in weight classes and getting to welterweight and doing well against other welterweights. I'm saying like a time when when the guys who were at welterweight were welterweights. They basically started their career at welterweight. They were guys who wind up going up to 154, guys who wind up going 160 pounds. And in the case of, I think Thomas Hearns might have went all the way up to 175 pounds, right? Those guys I'm talking about are the Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas Hearns. Of course, Duran did move up to from 135 pounds. I don't know if there was a 140-pound division at the time, but he jumped from 135 to 147, and then I think he went from 147 after that to 160. I'll have to look up and see when that 140-pound division was established. Now, I mean, it was there during that time. I don't even have to think about that because I know that Nicolino Lochi was at 140 pounds. Of course, Aaron Pryor was at 140 pounds. Wilfredo Benitez, I do believe, won some titles at 100 at light welterweight. So, it's been around. I think it's been around since like 1962. But I mean, the point that I'm making is that you have like real established welterweights, guys who are of that weight class, like a Thomas Hearns and a Sugar Ray Leonard. And for me, one of the best welterweight fights that I've seen, and I think definitely since the early 1980s, the biggest welterweight fight that I can recall was Sugar Ray Leonard versus Thomas Hearns. And I'm hoping that that's the kind of situation that we're coming into with Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. I know Terrence Crawford is moving up, but the Thomas Hearns in this scenario, even though they definitely fight a little bit differently, is Errol Spence, a guy that is a 147 pounder, that is a big, strong guy. But all in all, man, I think that this is just really has the potential to be a golden era in the welterweight division. You have Keith Thurman. Now, there's been a lot of, I'm going to take, now that Errol Spence Jr. has really taken over the spotlight off the welterweight division, the spotlight of the welterweight division. Now I'm looking forward to Keith Thurman coming back. Because before, to me, I was like, look, man, when is Keith Thurman gonna face Errol Spence? When is Keith Thurman gonna face Errol Spence? It was clear Keith Thurman was the WBC, the WBA champion. He was the man in the welterweight division, and Errol Spence Jr. was somebody who was looking to get a chance, and he couldn't get a chance. Couldn't get a chance against Keith Thurman, so he had to take the hard route by traveling over to the UK to get a bout with Kell Brook. He wins that, and now Keith Thurman gets stripped of the WBC. Now he's a WBA. There will be a WBC champion, which more than I'm believing is going to be Danny Garcia, right? And I mean, but it could be Sean Porter. But one of those two guys are going to win it. But how dramatically it's now that the picture has really changed, and Errol Spence Jr. is the one that everybody has to go after. And I believe in this. I don't care about what Terrence Crawford's doing over there at ESPN. Terrence Crawford has been a world champion for several years now, since he won against Ricky Burns. And through no fault of his own, his promoter didn't really push him. And now he's getting into the situation where his profile is going to be raised because of the profile of Errol Spence being raised. But Errol Spence has, since he won his championship last May or May, whatever Memorial Day is, of the Memorial Day weekend of 2017, whatever that date is, his star is rising. His star is rising quickly, and it is directly associated with the fact that he puts on no doubt about it type boxing matches. I think this is 11. I think this is his 11th straight knockout. Yeah, I think that's his 11th straight knockout in the welterweight division. And to stop a guy with body shots And this is the thing about Errol Spence Jr. that I really do believe, that he is going to be popular with all type of boxing fans because of his style. He's not somebody that is going to move. He's a seek and destroy type of fighter, and that just plays itself so well with Mexican and Mexican American fight fans who, and I've heard this from the mouths of Mexican and Mexican American fight fans that prefer the style where somebody's going to go out there and they're going to mix it up and they're going to have a good fight. He's going to appeal to that type of fight fan, the type of fight fan that doesn't necessarily want to see a dance, right? The ones that really watched Floyd Mayweather Jr. because they wanted to see Floyd Mayweather Jr. lose, right? And would walk out of the boxing match complaining about how boring Floyd Mayweather Jr. is. Now, I don't agree with that assessment at all. Not even a little bit. I mean, I love watching this. I love watching the sweet science, man. I love watching somebody hit and not get hit. But also, man, I got to tell you, man, I do really like the the rough and tough boxers like Andre Ward. Because Andre Ward I don't think he's not quite as aggressive as Errol Spence Jr. is. I mean, he's really not going for just, to demolish guys, man. He's not the savage that Errol Spence Jr. is when he's going at somebody. But I mean, he gave you that that grit that I like to see. It's just, I think with Andre Ward, the situation with Andre Ward was always fighting guys that are a lot bigger than him. Andre Ward, I think at a certain point, I mean, at 168 pounds, he's still fighting guys that were coming down off from 107, guys are going to wind up at 175 pounds. He's never really been the biggest guy. I'm trying to think when I've ever seen him really, be the biggest guy in the ring. He's never really had an opportunity where he could just beat up on somebody, didn't have to worry about what was coming back at all. And so if Andre Ward maybe could have been at 160 pounds, maybe that would have been a little different. I think he missed his opportunity to like really, really, really stamp himself in the minds of fans. It was unfortunate, man, that he was in that kind of tweener division, the 168 pound division. And he wound up getting it at 175 pounds when he beat the respect into Sergey Kovalev, right? But, people didn't want to give him the credit for that. But if he had been able to be at 160 pounds and did what everybody with common sense knows he would do to Gennady Golovkin, hey, man, maybe it would have been the situation with him. But Errol Spence Jr. is at that magical. Well, that's a guy magical. He's in that signature division, the welterweight division. So, I mean, long story short, man, I think we are walking into an absolute golden era in the welterweight division. And now we're in a situation where these guys can't duck. There ain't no running from that, man. There's no running from that. They're going to have to run to that. Because right now, like, I don't know if you guys remember, but Luis Collazo's like, yeah, I'll face him. I'll face him. I'll get in there with Errol. I'll get in there with Errol Spence. I mean, because who's Luis Collazo? Luis Collazo he's a rough, tough, high level boxer. Gatekeeper type of guy who's going to try to put the pressure on. He's going to make for an exciting fight. And it's a style that would mesh real well with Errol Spence. And he was willing to get into that ring with him. Right. And the reason he was is because of the payday. Right. Because he's like, shoot, I'm going to make a lot more money fighting this guy than I'm going to get, fighting guys that I can beat real easy. So he was willing to get in there. Now, to tell you the truth, man, these other dudes are going to wind up being in the same situation as Luis Collazo, relative to Errol Spence Jr., where Errol Spence Jr. is going to be their biggest payday. Errol Spence Jr. is going to be their biggest payday. Errol Spence Jr. is going to be Keith Thurman's biggest payday. He's going to be Terrence Crawford's biggest payday. He'd be Danny Garcia's biggest payday. And he more than likely will be the dude that's making the most money. And these things, I think this cat is right on the edge of being a pay-per-view star. Now, I'll say this and I'll say this again, man, because it's so hard to be a fan of boxing and to be a fan of a fighter. Because I love the sport of boxing. I mean, I'm spending my Father Day. I'm going to be doing boxing videos all day. I'm probably going to go out there, maybe get a cup of coffee or something. But hey, man, I'm going to talk boxing all day. This is what I love to do it, man. I love to do it. And I'm a fan of boxing. But when I become a fan of a fighter, then I start thinking, how much money can this guy make? And well, I can't wait to see him get in the pay-per-view, right? Get on pay-per-view. And man, I'm really looking forward to. I like the fact that Errol Spence is getting in a Range Rover with seats with the reverse doors. I was like, what the hell is this? How does his doors open like that? I was like, oh man, that must be the new style, and that must be the new style in ridiculously expensive cars for your for your doors to open from your doors to open from front to back. It's like, what is that? But getting excited about those type of things for a fighter means you're starting to become a fan of the fighter. And I got to admit, with Errol Spence Jr., I'm starting to become a fan of the fighter. I love when a guy who gets ducked and a guy that's getting avoided and a guy where people are trying to ensure that he doesn't get his shine when they're left with nowhere else to run. And Keith Thurman has nowhere else to run. Danny Garcia has nowhere else to run. I don't think Terrence Crawford is running at all. But like Errol Spence Jr. said, hey, man, I hope that Terrence Crawford keeps winning and looking good. I hope Errol Spence keeps winning and looking good. And those guys can wind up being, come together at the top of the division, and we can see what's cracking from there. And then, hey, man, you might be able to get another one in there. Now, I'm going to tell you a fight that I'm looking for that if these guys can't make next, that I would love to see for Errol Spence is Omar Figueroa. Because Omar Figueroa is from Texas. Omar Figueroa is another guy he's going to sit in there. He's going to throw them hands. He's 100. I know he's fought at 140 and 147, but I'm a big fan of Omar Figueroa. So, if Errol Spence can't get the fight with Sean Porter and Danny Garcia because for some reason they're still delusional enough to believe that they're the main event, right? And that for some reason, people need to, cow-tied and follow them around. That's more Danny Garcia than Sean Porter, right? But if that's still what they think, hey man, I'll take a bout with Errol Spence Jr. and Omar Figueroa. Both, like I said, both are from Texas. They fought in the amateurs. I believe that Omar Figueroa won a bout against Errol Spence Jr. in the amateurs. But like I said, man, that's the amateurs. I saw the fight that Errol Spence lost in the Olympics, and that's the first time I've ever seen a fighter in the Olympics turn around, run, and literally run. I mean, look at the fight in the Olympics that Errol Spence lost. Man, Errol Spence started cracking that dude to the body. That dude literally turned his back on Errol Spence Jr. and ran around the ring. I was like, what? He ain't even faking like he's running. He literally put some track shoes on, turned his whole back to the dude, and started running away, man. It was hilarious. But anyway, man, I'm just excited for the welterweight division. I'm excited for Errol Spence Jr. I'm certainly hoping that we can get these major fights in the welterweight division. And honestly, man, I'm hoping that Deontay Wilder, in the situation that Deontay Wilder's in, can look at the situation that Errol Spence Jr. is in and feel like, okay, man, this is a path. I can stay with this path. Because Errol Spence Jr. was getting done the exact same way that Anthony Joshua is doing Deontay Wilder. But hey, man, things change, dude. Things change. An injury, a loss, the fact that people keep thinking that you're being ducked, people will continue to build your profile. And one thing has happened for sure with Deontay Wilder over the last year of going through this whole contract negotiation. The people that said that Deontay Wilder would have been stupid to go to the UK, for not going to the UK and calling the fight because, when Anthony Joshua wouldn't let him in the ring, we know they were dead wrong. Because his profile and the publicity around his name it could not possibly have been any bigger than it has been right now. His name is directly connected with Anthony Joshua's. But, so hopefully if he can just, stay the course. And man, could you imagine if we had both at the same time? Like we had just a stellar heavyweight division with great matches going on, and then the same thing going on at the welterweight division. I mean, it would just be an absolutely fabulous time to be a fan of boxing, man. And that's what I'm feeling right now. I feel like we really got that opportunity to have a golden era in the welterweights. And the only thing, and we could be having in the heavyweights, except for, we got somebody holding the brakes up on that. But anyway, it is what it is. And with that, I'm out. Peace.